And yes, 5 secrets to raising a math guru without hiring a math teacher. Are you shocked? Yes, I love it that you're shocked. Come closer. I have something for you. My name is Wendy Yolo and I'm called Africa's number one parent coach. Nope, I am your number one parent coach. And yes, I am the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. Today, I'm going to be showing you how you can raise a math guru with no math teacher. Is it possible, coach? Yes, it is possible. Oh, I love it. I'm going to be sharing with you what it is that I've been able to do myself. For context, I have 2 children. Both of them are 15. So I have a set of twins. Yes, 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 you got it. And the twins, one thing that we were able to do with them was to make them understand math concept. So today we have math guru without necessarily passing them through a math teacher. I want to tell you what that means. Does it mean that they've never been in a math class before? No, that's not what I mean. I mean that they just go to your regular, I've never had to hire an extra math teacher. And they don't do well in math because they are learning math in school. No, they are doing well in math because the home is structured to teach mathematics logically. So there's math concept and there's passing math. I struggled with math. I didn't want my children to struggle with math. So now our daughter says she struggles with math. Guess what? She will make between 85 and 90 and say she struggles with math. Sometimes I'm like, I'm happy, right? Now, not because they're just passing maths, but because they understand the concept of math. So yes, welcome here. Are you ready? Are you ready? Do you know that, yes, I am now 40 years old? I love it. And you're wondering, what would it be like when you now turn 40? After being 40, I just realized how good God is to me. It was an amazing, amazing celebration over the last week on Monday. So you're looking at a 40-year-old woman. But hey, let's talk about what we're here for. Secret number one: make maths a lifestyle, not a subject. See, the best maths learners are not the ones who sit with textbooks. They're not the ones who learn in the books. They are the ones who see maths everywhere. That's what you want to do. Make your children use maths in their everyday learning. I realized that was one thing I struggled with. I couldn't see maths. The person who taught me mathematics in primary school and secondary school didn't do a good job. One of the things that I realized was that I was constantly struggling because maths was too abstract. Meanwhile, maths is one of the simplest things to do. Maths is one of the most, intentional thing that you can actually infuse in everyday life. Now, how do you get maths to be everywhere? Here's what I did with the twins. When the twins were as young as 1, we started to count everywhere. When they take steps, we count. When we buy snacks, we count. When we get toys, we count. We started to involve them in budgeting. As young as age 5, we started going to the market with them. We involved them to be able to actually understand what we're buying, why we're buying them, and what it is that it's about. They started to learn to cook. By the time they were 3, they would be in the kitchen with us. They would pick different kind of things, in the kitchen, help to cut vegetables and all of that. Our children started learning how to do knife work as early as age 3. Do you know why? I still cut myself till today. I realized that I don't know how to use a knife. Do you know that using the knife, there's a technique to it? You heard me right. So we started to teach them knife work. And all of these things help them to be able to understand adding, to be able to understand estimating. And that's one thing that have helped our children to actually move, from just maths, writing exams and passing, to be able to use it every day. Another thing that we do was we played math game during our car rides. So instead of just having car rides, see that tablet that you give your child when you are this thing, take it away from your child when you are on a ride. Do you know that the time of commute can be a great learning time for you and your child, especially if your child is younger? Even if you have older children. Till today, when we are traveling, our airport wait times are interesting times. Our flight times are enjoying. In fact, our children prefer longer layovers than shorter layovers because there's always something fun to do. And in doing it, we're actually creating a lot of memories and we're learning. So play math games during car ride, during travels, like guessing distances, solving quick sums. When you add one to how many kilometers have we ridden? Where are we now? How many kilometers will it take us to get to where we're going? So these are some of the things that you can do with them. Another thing you can do is to encourage problem solving, in real life, like splitting a bill, like dividing a cake. So when we have maybe birthdays and all of that, as young as we were 5, we'll tell them, so you need to share this into equal parts. And our children used to actually laugh about it. Like, you mean everybody's supposed to get the same size? Like, how do we achieve that? So it helped them to actually be able to think. So when maths becomes part of daily life, children naturally begin to become curious and become more confident. So that's one thing that you can do. That's one secret to raising a maths guru without hiring a maths teacher. Number 2, focus on concepts, not just formulas. Many times we want our children to cram formulas to just, and now here is where understanding your child's learning style comes in. If you understand how your child learns, it helps you to be able to understand how they can focus on concept and not just formulas. When you don't understand how to learn, they will just cram. So we have a course that is upcoming, understanding your child's learning style. And in this course, we are able to actually, push it in the faces of the audience how you can help your child. Now, you cannot help a child from strength, from weakness to strength. You help a child from strength to weakness. So you need to ask yourself, what is that weakness? What is that strength that my child has? So stop, on the weakness. Why not begin to ask yourself, who am I parenting? If you know how to learn, then you know how to focus on the strength and then move towards the weakness to really help them. So if you understand how to learn, it makes all the difference. So most children fear mathematics because they are forced to memorize formulas. So then get your children to fear mathematics without understanding why. Explain the why behind the math. Why does multiplication work? Why does division, what does it really mean to divide? Let them ask questions. Use real life examples, to explain abstract concepts. Don't just tell your children, oh, cram the formula. The formula is supposed to be this plus this. One of the reasons our children do so well with, calculative subjects, mathematics, TD, further math, physics. Our daughter's best subject will be further mathematics. Will be technical drawing. Our son's best subject will be further mathematics, or maybe physics. He says between further maths and physics. They are very logical and very technical, and it's because that part of them was actually developed as a young child. Now, last Tuesday we had a class. I was teaching in a class. I was teaching in a class with Rally Signature, right? You need to go and catch replay of that class. It's right on this YouTube channel. So we are here every Tuesday, every 2 p.m. Tuesday, Nigerian time, that's West African time, to teach on the different aspects of parenting. Last week, we were actually talking about slow learners, and there was something striking she said. She said, there are no slow learners, there are just steady learners. You need to go and listen to that class. Anyway, so that's how to focus on concept. When children understand the why, they solve problems creatively, they don't just copy answers. I usually say that he who knows why is better and greater than he who knows how. Number 3 secret, use games and puzzles. Fun is a math guru's best friend. If your child is a play person, your child is a math guru. You can actually use that to create a math guru. Our son, we call him Play Master 2.0. He plays. What did we do? We used the fun to create a system where he's able to solve maths easily. Does he still play? Yes. So when parents tell me my child plays too much, I laugh. If you have a kinesthetic learner, your kinesthetic learner is going to learn through play. So you need to find out, who am I parenting? What kind of learner is this? And I'm sure that if you're looking at this screen, you will see how you can register for understanding your child's learning style. It is a key aspect of this conversation. If you don't understand how your child learns, you can't help your child learn. And your child can pass exams without actually learning. So learning is not passing exams. 2 weeks ago, I was sharing on rote learning and conceptual learning. You find out that most of us are rote learners. We are root learners, right? We are just root, ROTE, right? That's how we're just learned, we're just taught to cram and pass exams. So we must be able to teach our children how to actually use these games and puzzles. Fun board games like puzzles, like Monopoly, like chess, like Sudoku, like Taboo, like Catan. These games are strategy games. They help your children with number sense. They help them to actually be able to put a lot together. Let the children be able to actually connect with the fun. In my home, we call our home a home of games. I do not think that there's any game that we don't have. Name one. Let me respond to you in the comment section. Just ask me, Coach, do you guys have this game? One of the things we do when we travel, right, anywhere in the world, is that we actually use one box to buy gifts. Funny, right? Yes, but this is something that will help our children to develop their spatial, thinking, to do their logical thinking, to develop their STEM thinking, and that has really helped us. All right. So puzzles like Rubik cubes. Actually, started using Rubik cubes. In fact, they used to actually do Rubik cubes games in primary school. So they started using Rubik cubes as early as age 5. We started to teach them how to actually get it done, so they can set that thing in split seconds. So it's something that you can teach your children to. It helps them to develop that ability to actually think, to ability solve problem. Maths is a problem solving, tool. That's what it is. All right. So get them to do mass riddles, because mass riddles will sharpen their thinking and all of that. See, play keeps the brain flexible and math friendly. So if you do not incorporate play in your parenting, your children cannot be math friendly. I hope you understand that. All right. Number 4, praise problem solving, not speed. A lot of people, why you call your child a slow learner is because you think that speed is more important than environment. Do you know that when it comes to learning, environment is more important than speed? Yes, you heard me right. Because the goal is not to rush through maths problems. The goal is to think through them. Most of us rush through them. So you need to celebrate when your child figures out a tricky question, a tricky thing. Even if it takes a while, celebrate it. So process over progress. Right? Process over progress. And progress over result. This is very important. Very, very important. All right. So encourage them to explain their thinking. when you get your children to explain what they are thinking, it helps them to deepen their understanding. It helps them to get them to do mind mapping, get them to be able to write, get them to, the reason you're still struggling with helping your child do homework is because you've not understood how your child learns. The moment you understand how your child learns, it changes the trajectory of your parenting. You don't have to hassle when a child is writing exams. You don't have to hassle when a child is, studying. I can't remember doing homework for my children. It's not okay. So if you're doing homework for your child, you're wrong. You're not helping them learn. You're stopping them from learning. And it's simple. You're not teaching them how to actually solve problems. You're teaching them how to just pass exams. And that's not what this is about. The world is not looking for people who can memorize. I call them memorization robots. They're looking for people who can solve problems. All right. So teach them to break problems into smaller parts. Math needs you to actually get smaller parts, smaller steps to actually be able to combine it. All right. When they feel smart for thinking, they enjoy maths more. So let your children feel smart for thinking, not just feeling smart for just doing anything. All right. This is very important. And then lastly, build a growth mindset around mathematics. Before you can build a growth mindset, you need to understand how a child learns. If your child is an auditory learner and your child is struggling with maths, it's because you've not understood that this child only listens. So maths is difficult to actually just hear. So you need to find a way for your child to hear it and your child to actually be able to develop that part of them that is kinesthetic. Most people who are kinesthetic learners are good math students because it requires a lot of hands-on activities. But the problem usually is we don't pay attention to some of those things, so our children continue to struggle. Make children believe maths is for a certain level of people. People actually tell their children, oh, maths, people who are smart are the ones who know maths. And I think that that's a problem. You make them believe that, that maths is only for a group of people. You can flip that mindset. You can change it today and get them to understand and begin to have a growth mindset. Teach them that mistakes are part of learning. Stop shouting when your children make mistakes. It is part of it. Math is like solving a puzzle. So when they make mistakes, they continue until they get it. If you do not have puzzles in your home, please find your way to Relic Signature today. You find the Relic Signature on Instagram. Go and get puzzles now. And this is very important because it will help your child to develop that math mind and that math skill that we're talking about. All right. Now, another thing that you need to do is that you want to actually share stories of famous, mathematicians who struggled at first. You can share my story. Did you hear me? Yes, you can share my story. I struggle with math, and I struggle with maths because the people who were teaching me didn't really understand how to teach mathematics. But by the time I started to understand myself, and also the people who raised me, because it's not really about the people who were teaching me. The people who raised me didn't know how I learned. They just knew that I was a smart kid. I was a trophy child. So for an A-list student, making a C in maths was a huge struggle. I always often struggled to just pass maths, to just barely be on a C. My wife was a C. Meanwhile, I made A's. I made A in English. I made A in physics. I made A in Igbo language. I even made an A1 in physics, Igbo language, and all of that. So imagine coming from that place, and then it's looking as if you don't really. It's just because they didn't understand how I learned, so I struggled. Do you know the interesting thing? I do maths very well now. I was talking with a team member of mine. I was talking about mathematics, and I said, "Can you calculate this?" Now. And then he goes, "I'm not very good at maths." I'm like, even I used to think so, but I developed my math part. What did I do? I started to paint. I started to do paint my number. I started to do a lot of puzzles. I started to sharpen the logical part of my brain. I started to actually develop my math concept. Math is a concept that you can develop. The problem is that we don't develop math concept. But did I pass math? Yes, I did. Many of you who are listening to me pass math, made A1, but you don't really have the math concept. Today, I have numbers at the top of my head. If I mentor you, one of the things that I tell you is that I want your numbers on your palms. So numbers are my thing because I realized that I can't run a business without numbers. So I had to begin to actually look at numbers and look at it differently. Celebrate effort and improvement, not just correct answers. Let your children be able to, understand improvement, understand effort, and that's one of the ways to actually be able to move this thing. When they believe they can figure it out, they become unstoppable. That's one thing that I have learned. Let them teach you. Bonus tip. Let them teach you. Did you hear that? Let them teach you. Do you know I started making our children to teach me? Of course, they solve maths better than I do. Our children solve maths without calculators because their math concept is so rich. Sometimes I low-key envy them. Don't tell them that I said so. I low-key envy them like, how did you guys just have parents who understood how it is that you learned and helped you in that manner? That can be your children as well. That can be your children. Ask your children to explain concepts to you. Do you know what it's doing? They are teaching you and it's also teaching your child. This is actually a very key aspect of your journey. So if your children are teaching you and then they are also learning, remember that when you teach, you learn more because I'm think. Yes, and that's it. So teaching builds mastery and it also builds confidence. All right. One of the things I have done this week is that I'm going to be sharing with our community. That's our YouTube community. Yes, the community, the family. Of course, you know that you can join that community. I'm going to be sharing the 5-day fun maths routine with them. All right. And if you're an inner cycle parent, I'm also going to extend this offer to you. 5 day, I call it the 5 day math routine that you're going to be able to get. You'll get a 5 day math routine. I've been able to break it down in days, and you'll be able to actually use it to help your children begin to build their math concept. Don't say I didn't help you. Don't say I didn't give you anything, right? Yes, I did. I'm very excited about it. And I've been able to actually, show you, teacher. I'm constantly learning, right? So you see, I have an advantage. So as much as I teach you, I actually learn much more than you. That you can raise a math without hiring a math teacher. So you're asking me, that math teacher that you've been hiring, that math teacher that you have had for a while, trust me, you can kiss him or her goodbye. Don't say that I said so. But one thing that I want to assure you is that if you understand how your child learns, it changes the trajectory of your parenting. Fire that math teacher today. Join the Understanding Your Child's Learning Style and see your child become a literal guru just before your eyes. School and lesson teachers cannot teach your children how to think. Will they teach them how to pass exams? Yes. Will they teach them how to do well in school? Yes. But think about it. You were tops of your class, and then what? What have you created? What are the things that you've been able to do? What problem have you solved? These are the questions that we need to begin to ask to actually change the trajectory of our parenting. I'm particularly excited about this course, and I want you in there. This course changed my life on how my children and our son learned. I'm going to tell you the story. How our son struggled for someone who is an A plus student right now, and he struggled so much, in his early days. Some of the things we just need to understand how your child learns, and then you will be able to help your child better. Like I said, it helped my life. It can help you. Don't leave your child just everywhere, and don't leave your child not knowing what it is that they want to do and not learning what they need to do. See, if you don't help your child to develop this part of their lives, it is going to be a struggle eventually for them, and you don't want that for your child. See, that's why I said, and I usually say, that you're a product of who raised you, how you were raised, where you were raised, and most importantly, what the person who raised you know. The question will be, what do you exactly know? Come and learn so that you can help your child. This is why I sign out. See you again next Friday.